Okay, I am super excited to say that we finally switched our bedrooms. Now, this is just an old clip that I have of a recent time that I redid the bedroom, and I'm just showing you really quickly what my husband and I's bedroom used to look like. We had the smallest room in the house for a room, and as you can see, we have very little space, and it was very hard to maneuver. That door right there is my old closet, and it was very challenging. I actually had hired a professional declutterer to come and help me one time with the bedroom, and she told me that the only way that she would be able to help is if we switched our rooms because there was nothing that she was going to be able to do in this space. So I ended up using her in the basement, but here's what our bedroom used to look like, and then we're going to get into the new rooms. So we have gotten most of the stuff out of this room. This is my son's room at the time. We have taken most of the stuff out of here. It's pretty echoey, so I apologize for that. I want to remove some of the last things that are left in here and then just start cleaning, and hopefully we will start getting everything done in this room. The floors have definitely been ruined by, I think, like his computer chair. So I'm going to see if I can do some things to try to restore some of the floor if possible. I didn't realize that I should have put some sort of felt underneath the bed frame here, so I can definitely see where it's damaged the floor a little bit. I did order some of that for the other bedroom, but that area is going to be covered by the bed anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Unfortunately, we do have to cover up most of this window here with the bed because it's the only place that we can really put the bed. But I want to come in and kind of start cleaning. And then this is the closet, which I don't think it's going to stay like this, but for now it might. We'll see eventually what we're able to do with it. But I want to get everything out of here and just start cleaning. And there's the other window there. So I just like to start off saying I understand that this is not a massive room by any means. There's certainly a lot of people out there with much larger rooms than this, but I am so happy that we've switched rooms. I feel like I have all the space in the world in this bedroom. Even with our large bed in it, it still feels very spacious to me. And in reality, we're not in here all that often. I mean, we're pretty much just in here to sleep. But even just having the larger closet has made such a huge difference in how I feel about our bedroom. We actually got a real bedroom set for the first time ever. We have like a real bed and matching nightstands, and it just feels so nice. These last couple of years that we've spent redoing everything in the house has really made a huge difference in how I feel about the house, even though it's very small. And yes, in reality, it would be great to have some more space. Just taking the time to make over the rooms the way that we want them has made a huge difference in just how I feel about it. And now we're taking our time to go through and slowly make things exactly how we want them. Taking our time, not just buying cheap furniture because it's cheap and we can afford it. We're actually just saving up and buying smaller things as we're able to afford them. So on this day, this project took a couple of weeks. It seems like everything that we do takes a couple of weeks. I know it's really hard because we go onto social media and we see that all of this transformation is done in just a few minutes. But I think when you have people that are working full time and for some things, you're waiting for outside help maybe to do some things, things just take a while. And we still had a lot of stuff in the bedrooms. There was actually stuff under our bed. So what had happened was I was doing all of the prepping in 2020. So I was starting to store things under our bed. And I had gotten the raisers to raise up the bed so we could put more stuff under it. Well, I think what happened was the bed actually collapsed in the middle, and I wasn't even able to get anything out of there. So until we switched the bedrooms, I wasn't really able to take anything out from under our beds, which, as you can imagine, is not good in terms of like cleanliness because there was a lot of dog hair and dirt that had accumulated under there. And the same thing in my son's room. So my goal now is to really keep very little under the beds, and whatever is going to be under there is going to be in containers so I can slide those out and clean under. That's my goal for everything, is to have furniture that I can move around easily or get under so that I'm able to clean. And in our room, we always had leftover furniture that had been given to us by certain people at different times of our life. So nothing really matched, and it just feels so nice to have matching furniture for once, and it's truly incredible. So, like I said, over the last couple of weeks, this is really what I've been working on. My house has been completely trashed. So later on in the video, we're going to go through and just get the rest of the house cleaned up as well, because I was so exhausted. Like, just every time that I had off of work, I was trying to get these rooms cleaned, get things moved around. I had piles of stuff all over the house, in the kitchen, in the living room. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you could probably guess where most of the stuff ended up that we don't know what to do with. If you guessed the basement, you would be correct. That is where most of the stuff went again. So I know that I have very soon in the future a time where I'm going to have to go down there. And I just really want to get rid of so much stuff because I'm sick of moving it around my house. I am just done. I want to get it out of here once and for all. So that'll be coming very shortly. But on this day, I just wanted to take the time to get in here and really clean the room. I mean, obviously, there was a teenage boy living in it, and it just needed a really good, thorough cleaning. Some of the windows have been damaged from the air conditioner, and just because they're really old, and I think that we're going to have to get them replaced pretty soon, sooner than I would like to, but I do think it is going to have to happen. I also damaged these windows. There was mold inside the windows just from like condensation, so I had really used a lot of bleach and vinegar and scraping everything, so I think I did some damage as well, but I do know that it's going to be pretty soon in the future that we're going to have to probably redo all the windows in the house. So what I did with the floors was I just cleaned them with a regular mop and a cleaning solution, and then I went back over them with this product called Restore a Floor, and I think it worked very well. It was able to get a lot of the things up from the floor, such as the marks from his chair and from his bed. And like I said, most of that is covered now anyways, but it was able to restore the floor, as it is all natural wood. It's real wood. So I really didn't want to have it too damaged, but it did a pretty good job. So this is just going over it with the mop, and then you're going to see in a second what it looked like after using the Restore Floor. And then we just chose a white color for the walls. I think it's called First Snow. We got it from Home Depot. I just wanted something open and airy for the bedroom. This is what the living room looked like for about a week and a half with my son's furniture in it. He was staying in my oldest son's room in the basement, in that bedroom, while we were working on the 2 rooms. Now I'm going to show you, this is our old bedroom, and all the stuff that you see on the floor, except for the painting supplies, were all things that were shoved underneath our bed. So the whole corner there by the closet was all my husband's stuff, just all loose, getting dusty and nasty. And then there's all the stuff in the middle of the room that I had under there in containers, but still not appropriate for under the bed. I think it's really important that I show you all of this because it was not easy. It was not quick or simple. It was definitely very tiring. It took a lot of time and energy to get all this stuff switched over, and we're still not 100% done. Our rooms are certainly put together. I'm going to show you those towards the end. But there was a lot of cleaning that I had to do in the rest of the house, and a lot of it I didn't even film because honestly I was exhausted after working, and I just did it in my pajamas, and I was not going to show that. I'm going to take this huge pile of clothes and add that to the donation bin. So now I'm finally getting to some of the stuff that was under the bed. If you can see those 2 containers there, they're full of food. That was when I was doing a lot of prepping and things that I have stopped doing. But I just wanted to show you like what stocking up too much looks like, because it's honestly what I did. This was obviously a couple of years ago, and we are still not even going through, like we can't go through all of this food. It's just impossible. I've given a lot of it away. I've had to throw some of it away. And again, some of this stuff I added into our pantry downstairs. Some of it I gave to my dad, but it's just like it was way too much. And As I said, the bed collapsed onto it, so we weren't even able to get to it. Obviously, if there was an emergency and we had to, we could have, but I wasn't even able to get into it to rotate it along with the rest of our stuff. So if you're somebody who does a lot of prepping, just, I guess what I would say is, and it's a big saying with the prepper community, is buy what you eat and eat what you buy. I obviously bought too much and I had too much of a lot of different things. Over the last couple of years, we've decluttered so much stuff in our house, but clearly we still have some work to do, and I am really loving going through it all and just getting it out of my house because I'm so tired of moving it all around. So, one of the biggest things that I think I've realized in my home is that I get really overwhelmed recently when there's a lot of piles of things that I don't know where they belong and I don't really have a place in the house for them. I am okay if things are a little bit messy and lived in because obviously we do live here. We use the house, we're in it very frequently, and I'm okay if things get messed up and I know where those things need to go to be cleaned up. The problem that I have is when I have piles of things all over the place that I don't necessarily have a place for yet. So pulling things out of closets and out from under beds that we haven't really seen in a long time and having them spread out all over the house was giving me a ton of anxiety, and it really makes me like unmotivated. So when I look around and I see all of these things and all of these decisions that I have to make and I don't really have a solution for them, that's when I get incredibly overwhelmed and it makes me like really tired and I don't want to get to anything. So that's why I think a little bit later on when we start cleaning in the house, it's really good to just get the house back to being reset, back to getting everything put back where it belongs. And for now, a lot of the stuff is in the basement, so I am going to have to go down and, of course, do a whole reset down there again. But what I'm realizing is that at least we have a plan now. We are planning to redo the bedroom down there in the spring after we know that we're not going to have any more flooding in the house. And I just have to give myself some grace and realize that I'm not going to be able to get it perfect the way that I want it. But seeing how we've been able to do so much on the upstairs between the kitchen, the bathroom that we've redone, and now the bedrooms are finally done. Okay, so in there are some cans of like peaches and pears that I'm going to give to my dad. And then these are the only things that I think I have to throw away. They expired. Actually, they expire this month, but I just know that I won't use them and I can't donate them, so I have to throw these 4 cans away. Now, all of this stuff in this box was under our bed in our old bedroom. On my husband's side, it's all the stuff that he had under there, but it's all just like loose. So it makes it really difficult to pull everything out and clean. So I think what I'm going to do, since I've just emptied out the bins that I kept the food in, I'm going to try to see what I can fit into those and we can store them in the basement, and that way he can go through them when he's ready. But he says he wants to keep all this stuff. None of it ever gets touched, but that's not my decision. It's stuff that he wants to keep. So I'm going to make a space for it and make sure that it's kept without dust and dirt and all that other stuff that can accumulate underneath the bed. I was able to fit everything into this one container and I can easily store this in the basement. Okay, so as I was saying before, at least now I have some hope that we are going to be able to tackle the downstairs and really get it to how I want it. This winter, I think we're going to finally paint on the portion of the basement that we do use, at least so I can put a carpet down there and just feel a little bit more comfortable when I'm down there. And then I can start going through things slowly. But now I'm just still taking everything out of my son's closet because, as you can see, our bed is in here, and I am going to show you the full bedroom and what the closet looks like in just a little while. But all of these curtains we had put there just as a way to kind of block off the clothes for him. He ended up leaving them open most of the time anyway, so now I have all of these curtains I think I'm going to have to donate. I'll probably keep 2 for him to use in the bedroom that he's in now. And we have to decide what we're going to do with this closet. As I said before, it's probably going to be like this for several months, maybe even a year or so, until I can decide exactly which system I want to use in here. I've thought about going to the Container Store or to IKEA and doing some sort of a closet system, but if you're not somebody who really knows like how to put it all together or the best way to configure things, it makes it really challenging. So I'm thinking about maybe saving up some money and doing something like a consultation at one of those places so I can figure out the best solution for inside this closet. Okay, so I pretty much have the closet completely cleared out. There's just a couple things up there that I have to take down, but this is the closet that we're working with, and I know it's going to take me some time to actually get it right. For now, I really just want to get everything in here so we're fully moved in and my husband can start painting the other room. But in time, once I know how we use things and what we're going to keep, then I can start working on different organization arrangements in here. But it is definitely more space than we're working with right now. So if anyone has any ideas for how to set up a closet system, I would love to hear them in the comments. I am always open to ideas. So what I wanted to do is take a few minutes to clean everything out, get things dusted, so I can start putting in our clothes. And I'm going to show you in a little bit. I started putting things in. Honestly, this took me a couple of hours to get everything put in here. So obviously I didn't film it all. But I did show you kind of how I started off. And the other thing that I want to do, now that we have everything in here, I think I would like to get different hangers. I'm just deciding if I want to get the felt hangers or the wooden ones. I'm not really sure yet. And now that everything is in the closet, there is a little bit too much. I do have to remove some of our summer clothes and some of the dresses and things like that because we just don't have the space to keep them comfortably. Everything fits, but it's not very comfortable. So I think pretty soon I'll come back through with you guys and take out some of the summer clothes and come up with a better system. I would really like to keep my pajamas in there, and they are currently in my nightside table on the bottom drawer, and I would just like to use that for different things. Okay, so here is the closet. This is pretty much all of mine and my husband's stuff, minus a few things that are still in the laundry that I have to figure out what to do with. But most of that is stuff that we still have room for on these shelves. And I still have the full top shelf pretty much to use if I need to. And it's not going to stay like this forever, but it is nice to have it finally nice and organized in one place. And next we just need to find some sort of a door to put over this closet. I don't know if we're going to do a sliding door or a barn style door, but here it is. Okay, and now here is the bedroom. Now like I said, I absolutely love it in here. It is not 100% finished yet. I have ordered the rug. I actually ordered a rug and it came in and it was too small. It was only the length of the bed. So I have a new one coming that should be here, I think, tomorrow. The closet was not done yet. I filmed it a little bit out of order. And the other thing that we've done is we've bought a new door, so I'm going to show you that. And then we also spray painted the heat vents, so those are back up. And then this is the light that I ended up getting. I got it from a place called Chandeliers, and I really love it. I think it fits perfectly in the room, and it just looks so much nicer than the old light. And then here's my son's room completely done. We decided to keep the clothing on the wall for now. I would like to eventually buy him a dresser for in there, but I just don't want it to take up too much space. And I had put all the shoes under the bed and he moved them all back out to where he wanted them. So we still have a few finishing touches to do in his room. We painted the heater vents as well in there. And I don't know, he really likes it so far. So we have a few more things to do. And now here, on the day that I wanted to clean the house, I wanted to do a crock pot meal so I didn't have to worry about dinner after cleaning all day. So I'm just showing you really quickly what I ended up doing. I did a pot roast in the crock pot. I used some very basic spices and rubbed those all over there. I love to sear the meat on the stove before I put it into the crock pot. I just think it gives it so much more flavor, and it really helps as opposed to just throwing the meat in there completely raw. I just like to sear it on all sides, throw it into the crock pot. I just use potatoes, carrots, onions, celery, and some beef broth, Worcestershire sauce, um, cornstarch just to thicken it up a little bit. And I actually thought that I had bought more carrots. I did not. I forgot them when I was at the grocery store last time. So about an hour before everything was done, I just threw in a can of home canned carrots that I had done, added the rest of the seasonings. I had a Parmesan wedge that was all used up, so I decided to add that in there with a couple of bay leaves. And it turned out to be a really delicious dinner. And it was even better that I didn't have to cook anything in the evening after I had spent the full day cleaning and getting the house reset again. So as I was saying earlier, I just think that once I'm able to get the house reset back in order, everything put back where it belongs and cleaned up and refreshed, it is so much easier to keep it clean. It's when I have all these random piles around that I just feel completely lost and overwhelmed. So on this day, I wanted to change the sheets. Obviously, I like to do that every week. I did not clean the duvet cover. I don't do that every time. I usually do it about once a month, sometimes once every couple months. It just depends. And I honestly thought that I was going to have to buy a new mattress because I was waking up with so much back pain every night. But actually putting it onto a real bed frame, has made all the difference in the world. It's like so comfortable. And we've had this mattress for about 10 years now, and it is still perfect now. I do not need a new bed at all. We ended up getting the bed frame and the nightstands from a company called Grain Furniture. It's 100% wood. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. It's real wood. It's very solid. I think it's going to last us a very long time. And I just wanted a very light color. Again, I just want something light and airy in the bedroom. I'm going to take my time buying the rest of the furniture. I either need to do some lamps on the bedside tables or some wall sconces. I really think that I want to go for the wall sconces just because I don't really want a bunch of stuff on the nightside tables. I just want to take my time and really get something that we love, and I want to take the time to make sure that it's going to look nice in the bedroom and I don't have cords everywhere. I have to figure out the best way to either, if they're plugins, find the way to run all the cables and the wires and the plugs in a way that doesn't look crazy. And like I said, the rug is coming tomorrow. I'm going to take my time ordering the curtains and really just figure out what we want. I've been looking at different artwork. So I do have some ideas, and once we get everything 100% done, I will definitely share that with you. But just being in this bigger space has made all the difference. And as I said, because everything was so crazy, I was spending so much time just doing everything in the bedrooms. I had kind of neglected the rest of the house with dusting in the floors and just getting everything taken care of. So I really just wanted to do that on this day. And it's been about 4 days and the house still looks perfect, which I absolutely love. I also think that besides the basement work that we have to do, I want to start putting some more time and energy into getting the living room a little bit put back together. A lot of the furniture in here is, again, kind of cheap furniture that we were able to buy at the time, but next time I think I'm going to just really put some thought into what I want in the space. It's a very, very small living room, and I just want to find pieces that we love, that look good, and that fit in the space. Our couches are very old, but the one that the dog mostly sleeps on is in perfect condition because we keep the blankets on it, and really, if we're all watching TV, the kids sit on it, but it's not used very often other than the dog. And like these side tables here, again, just need to be replaced. And this mirror we had in our old bedroom. It was there, I think, when we moved into the house, probably 14 years ago. It was left here, and we just used it in our room. And I'm getting rid of it because I don't like it, and I'm going to wait until I find something that fits our bedroom perfectly before I buy another mirror for that space. We have other mirrors in the house that we can use when we need to. And just taking the time to wrap up some of the cords and get those out of the way to just make the space look a little bit nicer And again, I have just random things. I have a battery up there from a flashlight that is broken. It just had to be thrown away. Just taking a few minutes to clear off those spaces really makes a huge difference. Another thing that has been happening over these last few weeks was I had to buy a new car. Now, my car was a 2011 Honda Odyssey, and I absolutely loved it. It was able to hold all the kids, all their friends. I could put anything into that van and it would carry it. It was great when I had to do large shopping trips. It was just great. But it was starting to fall apart. We were going to have to replace the engine. I needed new tires. So rather than dumping all of that money into it, we had to go and take a look at different cars. So it's been a long time since I've bought a new car. I think I had that one for about 11 years, and the prices are absolutely insane for used cars. I'm never going to buy a new car again. I just don't think that they're worth it money-wise. They just lose so much value as soon as you drive it away. But even the used cars are so expensive right now. So I bought a car. It's about 4 years old. It's a 2020 Toyota Highlander. And it's definitely an adjustment getting used to having less space. Even though it's a pretty large SUV, it still has the 3 rows of seats, but the trunk is much smaller. I definitely cannot put everything that I could fit in my minivan in there. So some of the stuff that I have in the house is just bags that I had taken out of my old car, and I have to decide what I'm going to put back into the new car. Again, I don't have as much space, so I really have to just be particular about what I'm keeping in there. And just all the back and forth between making sure that the insurance is taken care of, and it was a while to get the title. So it's all just been a lot these last few weeks, and it makes it harder to get everything done. I had told myself that I was never going to have a car payment again, but unfortunately with the prices of cars these days, it just wasn't possible. It didn't make sense to buy a really used car because the miles were so high and the price point that I really wanted to spend. Just paying for it in cash or only financing a little bit of money, the prices it just made more sense to spend a little bit more and buy a car with less miles on it, knowing that, you know, my father-in-law used to do a lot of the work on the cars. He's a mechanic, and he's just not able to do that anymore. So it didn't make sense to go with a car with over 150,000 miles. Now, let me know if you have any felt on the bottom of your chairs, because these things just attract all the dog hair and it's so gross. I think I'm going to add that to the kids' chore list because I really hate pulling dog hair off of the bottom of the kitchen chairs. It just is so gross to me. If you have another solution, I would love to hear about it because, yes, it makes the chair slide easier with the felt, but just the amount of stuff that they attract is really eye-opening, and even though I vacuum pretty much every single day, it still just holds on to the hair.
Sway there in all the colors. Summer love, lonesome dove, folded on the lawn chair in all the colors. Summer love, remember when we were getting nowhere fast, when the garden won't stop giving back honeysuckle fresh cut.
Under the sink has just gotten a little bit out of control, so I wanted to go through here, take a couple of minutes to see what we were able to take out of here. I decided to refill up the soap containers that we use on the counter and just make a little bit more space inside to put everything. It just makes it easier on a daily basis when we're going to grab things, that they're easy to get and I don't have to move a bunch of things around first. I wanted to try out a different dish tab for the dishwasher, and I decided to go with Blueland. I have been using them now for a couple of months, and I actually really like them. I was a little bit worried that they weren't going to do a good job cleaning the dishes, so I only bought 2 packs of them, and I did not buy the container that they have on their website. I just used one that I already had at home, but I have really liked how they clean the dishes. Everything comes out super clean, and I know that the regular dish tabs are not good because of all the plastic and chemicals that they put in them, so I wanted to try something different, and if you are looking for something different, I would recommend giving them a try. I have really enjoyed them, and I'm definitely going to order more. I still have 2 packs of the ones with the plastic on them that I bought at BJ's. I'm going to go through those first, and then I'll be buying some more. I find that the one burner on my stove that we tend to use all of the time is the one that has the most buildup on it, and especially because I use that burner when I do a lot of my own canning, it definitely just gets like that nasty ring around it that's really hard to get off. So I definitely think that I need to try to use the scrubbing a little bit more often. I don't do it all the time, but I probably should do it a little bit more often. The other thing that I notice when we're doing a lot of home projects is things like this, where I end up with paint all over my cabinets in the kitchen, just because, I guess when the paint is being cleaned out in the sink, it splatters and nobody else seems to look for it. So that's what we have to deal with as well. I had recently cleaned the bathroom, so I did not have to do that, but I did have to clean the mirror as I didn't do it when I cleaned the bathroom. So I just wanted to take a couple of seconds to clean that off. Here is a towel holder that I had actually bought when we were redoing the bathroom, and when I was going to set it up, I could not find it anywhere. I looked everywhere. Of course, the house was completely destroyed at that point when we were doing the bathroom. There was just stuff everywhere for weeks, but I found it eventually. It was just sitting there. I probably put it there so it would not get thrown away, and then I couldn't find it when I needed it, so I ended up buying a different one. I am just going to donate that when it's brand new. But I ended up buying another one, like I said, and I like it, so I'm just going to donate that as opposed to just keeping it. Now here's the entryway, and this definitely tends to get pretty busy and messy at times, especially when we are doing stuff. The bags that I talked about from my car were here, and I still have to go through those bags and decide what I'm going to put in the new car. But because it's so small, it just gets very cluttered very quickly. And I really need to come up with a solution for hooks up there. Since I took the old one down, I have to figure out what I want to put up here, because this is the time of year where everyone has sweatshirts and coats on. So we definitely need to come up with a solution for the coats, just so that they're not all over the kitchen or just laying all over the bench like they are right now. So I've got a little bag here. This is mostly stuff that is going back to my dad's. It is some of the stuff that we went through for the canned foods, a bowl that he had brought over to us, and some other things. And then the other bag is just going to the donate pile, and I have to get that into my car and brought over pretty soon because I think I have a couple of bags out on the porch that need to be brought to the donation center. So now we're just going to vacuum, mop, and pretty much done at this point. I had gotten a lot done, and then I am going to also show you the crockpot meal at the very end. Now I do have a question. What do you guys think about fake plants, like the larger plants that people put in their rooms? I was thinking about getting one of those larger plants for the corner of our bedroom. I'm just not sure if it's going to look tacky or how dusty they get. I really don't want to spend a ton of time dusting off a fake plant, but I have seen them and they can look really pretty in a lot of rooms, and I am just no good at keeping plants alive. I have that one plant that you saw in the entryway, and I've been keeping that alive for a couple of months now, but that's pretty much the only plant that I'm able to keep alive. And I'm not sure that our bedroom has enough light for like a real plant. So I don't know, just let me know what you think. If you think that they're worth it, if they look good, or if they are just more than a hassle, more of a hassle to keep clean than they're worth.
You were my best friend, didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends. I'll be in fools, drifting to deep space. So brave and so stupid, just like the movies. I was gonna stay in the fight with you, just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high, every night with you, you and me so clueless. We were just broken, shattered, singing along to nothing matters. Stray around like nighttime rumors. We were in too deep. In your worn out sweaters, thinking we'll be young forever. Driving in your mom's old hatchback, and we were in too deep. Cause I'm thinking we'll be young, be young, be young. Cause I'm thinking we'll be young forever. Cause I'm thinking we'll be young, be young, be young. Cause I'm thinking we'll be young. Where did it begin? Where did it end? Hanging on loose strings, unable to bend. I never listened, trying to prove it, just like the movies. I was gonna stay in the fight with you, just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high, every night with you and me so clueless. We were just broken, shattered, singing along to nothing matters. Stray around like nighttime rumors. We were in too deep. In your worn out sweaters, thinking we'll be young forever. Driving in your mom's.
So for whatever reason, I absolutely hate cleaning out the sink. I don't know what it is. I also don't like it being dirty and gross, but I just don't like cleaning it. And for the longest time after I decluttered the house and started keeping it a lot more clean, I was forcing myself to clean the sink every single night, and I just hated it for some reason. I don't know what it is. I always keep the kitchen clean, the counters are clean, the dishes are pretty much always out of the sink. But for some reason, I just cannot keep up with doing it every single day. So I have just let myself do it like every other day, and it's been good enough. The rest of the kitchen is clean, and I don't clean out anything in my sink. Like I don't put any kind of fruits or vegetables in there to soak. I just never feel like the sink is going to get clean enough for that. So I am okay just rinsing out the food and cleaning out the drains every day, but I don't force myself anymore to make sure that it's getting cleaned every night just because I don't want to, and I don't have to because it's my house and it doesn't matter. So I just would say to let yourself Be okay in your house however you feel comfortable. Like I said, the rest of the kitchen is always clean and I change out my towels and all of that kind of stuff, but I just hate cleaning out the sink. So now I just do it like every other day. So now we're just going to put back the bed, put it all back together after washing all the sheets. There's nothing better than getting into a freshly made bed at night, especially after you've spent the day cleaning. I don't know what it is, but it is just so awesome. So I just want to say thank you for hanging out with me today. I truly appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, that would mean the world to me. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. I am still going to show you the crockpot meal, and I was going to make a fresh loaf of bread from scratch that morning, but I decided that I was going to use up the loaf that we already had. It would have been pretty much going into the garbage. So I just toasted it up and put a little bit of garlic butter on there, and it was delicious. As much as I would love to have a bunch of throw pillows on the bed, I just know that it's not realistic for me. One, I have nowhere to put them, so I know that they would just end up on the floor every day. My husband would never use them, and I don't really have a place to store them every night. And two, I just don't want to waste my time putting on a bunch of pillows that are not going to be used. I have thought about getting an extra set of pillows just for each of us to have two. And then I do want to buy another blanket just to put at the end. I think it would be nice if I'm watching TV in the room just to be able to curl up with that instead of having to lay under all the blankets. So I might do that just to make it look a little prettier, add some more color to match with the rug and the curtains and everything else that's going to end up in here. But I don't know, what is your take on all the throw pillows on the bed? So here it is all made. Again, that curtain is just there because I don't have any other ones right now. Here is the house when we were all done. It's all nice and clean. Everything is dusted and swept and wiped down. It just felt so much better to have the house done, starting off a new week, going to work and having everything pretty much done for the week is incredible. Obviously, we'll still have to do things throughout the week, but that is okay. At least I know it is clean and ready to start a brand new week. And then we had bought this sign many years ago at a large fair in our state, and it was perfect for a long time. But now I just feel like I'm ready to let it go. I'm going to donate it. It says family, and all of the letters are made from just natural materials that the artist used to put the, whatever word you want to put on there. So I thought that was a really cool idea, but I am ready to let it go. And again, we need to come over and do something with this entryway. That is coming. It'll happen eventually. And now I'm going to show you the crockpot meal. This was just the perfect way to end the night. I didn't have a ton of dishes to do at the end of the night. The meat was just fall apart tender. I ended up taking that Parmesan wedge and just throwing that away. It had given up all the flavor throughout the meal, and everyone absolutely loved this meal. And here's all the carrots that you can see in there that I added at the end. And then here is the bread that almost got thrown away. It was delicious. Thanks for watching.